So France is finally cracking down on the influencer problem. They are early to the punch, and I have to applaud them for it. They are about to make regulatory agencies for influencers, and they're about to legally define what an influencer is and start cracking down on all of their scams and deceptions.
Less government is always better. Still my personal take. Even if I think the influencers are abhorrent and stupid, I still think the government shouldn't be involved.
It's not just influencers, but also mainstream celebrities who have been peddling scams online lately, specifically gambling scams. It's insane. Yesterday, I saw one with Jamie Foxx and Vanessa Hudgens
Really?
promoting gambling. Yeah. And
What
then
the hell does Vanessa Hudgens got to do with gambling?
I don't know what Vanessa Hudgens has to do with anything.
Like,
And then this article also mentions Lindsay Lohan doing the same thing. Jake Paul did it, which is
oh, well, that makes
obvious.
more sense. Like,
Yeah,
the
that
Paul
makes
brothers
sense.
doing it makes perfect
But
sense.
Lindsay Lohan, Vanessa Hudgens, Jamie Foxx, where, like,
Okay.
why?
Okay, Lindsay Lohan's like, do
audacity.
you remember, like, she's like, do you remember Mean Girls? Are you a mid-30s woman with a high-level job with no husband? Do you have
a lot of disposable
Do you have a lot of
income.
disposable income? Come gamble with me.
You should
know
just buy shoes, don't gamble.
The incredible thing about the Paul brothers, at least the older one, Logan Paul, is that they're like chick psychopaths but handsome dudes.
You think?
Because he's all about the emotional
they have-
manipulation, fake cry.
BPD meltdowns every time
He
they're called
does.
out for doing something wrong.
I'll never forget a video he has. He's like, oh, I recognize that my white privilege. And he's just like
Yeah.
freaking out. It's like, dude, take a breath.
So France has had enough of influencers and their bullshit. So it says here they're going to legally define what an influencer is. A new legislation proposed by Voyetta and MP Arthur Delaporte aims to crack down on the types of products and services that influencers advertise to their followers. So it says they're going to create a regulatory framework around influencing in Europe, and it's going to basically ban influencers from promoting cosmetic surgery, financial products and services such as cryptocurrencies. We've seen a lot of crypto scams.
Oh yeah, and NFTs.
That is the Logan Paul app was the cryptocurrency NFT scam, right?
the NFTs are also a big.
He just got a
one.
bunch of investors, but the app never existed in the first place.
The other thing that's funny about this is like America's like hold my beer while we pay influencers for the government. Like we're like literally the Democrat Party is hiring influencers.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
I don't know what is worse. They're both bad.
So
Oh my God.
they're also about to force creators to disclose when they place filters on photos and videos, their advertisements, and for promotions that they do involving gambling or betting, they will have to add an informational banner warning their followers about the risks of those things.
I mean, that's a fair. I mean, like we do that here with, well, like even when we have political ads, it says like you have to. This ad was paid for by so and so.
sure.
Dude, Community Notes has revolutionized the game.
Oh yeah, Community Notes is
They
incredible.
will call out any fake news post.
Yeah.
It's insane.
The ones on the subway, dude, were incredible.
They even call out like
Really?
Photoshop
Like,
and
Yeah.
video editing and stuff like that, like video tampering, which I want to talk about the video filter thing. Like if someone is advertising a skincare product or makeup and they have a filter on their face, is that false advertising or is it just
Yes.
what the big companies have been doing all along?
well, I mean, but it's also like because we do that here. Like, there's regulations on like how they can advertise food on like the products that are used to substitute for food. Like they
Sure,
like,
but it's not as. I mean, they still put glue on cheese in commercials. Like
Yeah.
that's
do they
not
put
against the
okay?
rules.
Do they put? They're allowed to Photoshop pictures of women that are in Neutrogena ads?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So why should an influencer who is a much smaller fry not allowed to do the same thing?
Yep.
That doesn't seem fair to me.
See, government getting involved, bad thing. Never a good thing. Influencers bad.
We'll have
government
to see how it works out for France and
But
then move forward.
It could be very easily like if the government wants to squash something that they don't like, they could just do that with these regulations. It also like look, as far as I'm concerned, influencers bad, government always worse.
Under this legislation, would Liver King be put in prison?
Maybe.
Like he was selling these vitamin supplements to his followers and his primal diet. And
The primal diet.
he was taking tons of steroids to get his physique, lying about it. And that's a medical outcome. Like, that could have medical consequences for people.
You know what his solution could have been for that? He should have just been a steroid influencer.
I never found
He
out
is.
where that lawsuit went. Like, that class action lawsuit that was being raised against Liver
Yeah.
King. I need to check on
I mean,
how
stuff like that
that's-
takes years.
yeah.
I mean, they're going to be in court for
We'll
ages
have to see
on
if that
something
sets
like
a
that.
precedent.
What if he was just like, hey, take steroids like me?
It says there were a lot of victims of scams from medical practice to financial advice. People lost hundreds or thousands of euros and sometimes have substantial physical damage from following wrongful medical procedures. It was an opportunity to regulate the whole sector. An opportunity to regulate.
They love to regulate. And like I said, whenever stuff like this comes up, it always leads to abuse either by government or whichever the largest company that can lobby the government wants to put in place so that they can squash the competition.
You can kind of take it to its logical conclusion. Like, you can't, sell an ebook on marketing anymore, or you can't be a quote wellness coach because it takes the place of a therapist or a fitness trainer. I don't know. Like, where do you draw the line? But I have seen influencers just being absolutely buck wild recently. I saw a headline: social media influencer convicted of lying about her children's kidnapping. In 2020, Katie Sorensen posted a widely shared Instagram video in which she claimed that a couple tried to kidnap her 2 children at a Michael's craft store in California.
Those Michael's craft stores can be dangerous, I tell you.
Yeah.
That's where I got my first Tamagotchi.
People will do anything for clout.
Yes, they will.
It's been proven over
Wait,
and over
didn't you
again.
say there was a lady in here who was a mom influencer, but she wasn't a mom?
Yeah, we've got this article of a lot of different stories from people who were influencers, people who knew influencers in real life, and what are they actually like behind the scenes. So one of them says, a person I know became a mom influencer, and she wasn't even a mom.
Amazing.
But it's the perfect excuse, right? Like, I don't want to put my kids on camera. It's a privacy thing.
Of course.
But you still get all the brand deals.
It would be like me being an influencer for Big and Tall.
Dude,
You
that
think you could use deceptive angles?
Yeah, to make myself like, oh man, it's tough being tall.
dude, I think the next level influencers that I'm like, what are you doing? Is the Gen Z financial advisors.
The ones who break the mold and they're no longer afraid to just be like, this is financial advice. I am a financial advisor.
But it's like their voice is still cracking.
They
It's
can't
like,
stop making podcasts.
FTX is bussing, yo.
They can't
I got
stop making
18
podcasts where they have the stand microphones that they hold in their laps.
They hold it with them. Yep. I actually convinced, like, there's a wired mic downstairs that I've considered using in this job, like we're just so I can move around more freely. But then I'd be out of the frame even more because I'm already a fidgeter.
How about the kind that have the microphone that goes down?
Oh,
your
so I
mouth?
can look like I'm doing a TED talk
A
or
religious
selling
figure.
a Theranos
Yeah.
to somebody.
You could
We're
be the
doing a
Tony
TED Talk
Robinson
Yeah.
of pop
about
culture.
shattering glass ceilings as a Slavic person.
Yes,
in media.
As a short Slavic person in media, I am here. I would almost be able to crack the glass ceiling if I was tall enough, but I'm not, so I can't quite get up there.
But
One of these
Thank you.
testimonies says, I worked for a girl boss influencer who had her own beauty brand. She was nice sometimes, but was also a horrible boss. Low pay, no benefits. She made me drive her to a different city for a business meeting one time in her car so she wouldn't have to pay me for gas, even though I told her I was uncomfortable with the idea. After a long day, she made sure that I drove to get her food so she could eat, and she didn't offer to get me food, so I ended up asking if we could stop at McDonald's. I worked in marketing, but she was treating me like her personal assistant.
Okay, there's 2 questions here. Did she say yes to letting her get McDonald's? I need to know. And 2, like, I want to know what she means by saying, like, I was uncomfortable with the idea. I can imagine that in her mind she said that, but what she actually said was like, oh, I don't know. And then the lady's like, no, it'll be fine. And she's like, okay, fine. Like, did she actually say, I'm uncomfortable doing this?
She
or
said
did she
said that, but who knows? I don't know. One said, I work with beauty influencers in real life on a daily basis in digital marketing, and we mostly work with people over 250K followers. I have yet to meet any that I can actually stand. The ones we've worked with are the most insufferable, demanding, unprofessional group unprofessional group of people I've ever seen, and their agents are just as bad.
Dude, I worked with one that was like one of the first big accounts I was ever associated with, and this person, she basically got paid in clothes. They would sponsor her surgeries and her supplements.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, she was all about being all natural, and she was the most silicone woman being entity I've ever met.
Nothing wrong with just being like, I'm fake. Just say you're fake. I don't care.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, like thousands and thousands of dollars in surgeries.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never ends well.
I still say that regulation is not a good idea. And like, I have more concerns about like the fact that the US is now employing influencers via political parties. Like, there should absolutely similar to how here in the US, when you're giving a political ad, right? And you say like, oh, Ron DeSantis took a bunch of trans people hostage when he was 15, and they're like, this ad was sponsored by the Democrat, by so and so for governor, right? Like, if you're going to be a political influencer, maybe you should have to have like, so and so is funded by this political party or this cause which is connected to this political party through Act Blue.
We see that that's necessary now.
Yeah, I mean. At the same time, a fool and his money are easily parted, and maybe a fool and his ideology are easily found. Like if you fall for some Gen Z kid with mushroom hair telling you to vote blue no matter who, maybe it's your own fault.
I think there are more broccoli zoomers willing to do it for the Republican Party than the
Broccoli
Democrats.
Zoomers is the greatest name ever. Broccoli Zoomer is
Small
incredible.
broccolis.
I love it.
Another testimony here says they were friends with a micro influencer.
And that's $10,000. That's 10,000 subscribers or more.
A lot of people change the definition.
I've seen 100,000 for micro influencer too, but is it?
I don't know.
I've heard 10,000. I've heard
Different for
100,000.
every
That's a big number
person.
difference.
I think it's 10,000.
So Mary, you're
I feel like it
Look at
used to
you.
be. Well, you would be too.
on Instagram. Yeah, well, I mean, not in this space, but in skating, I would be technically considered a micro influencer.
I think that old Instagram 10K is like a lot, but now it's nothing because there's so many bots and there are so many scams. You
Dude,
know?
Cernovich retweeted me the other day.
Oh, yeah?
And it was the most horrifying thing in the universe.
What did you say?
It basically shitting on boomers,
Okay.
per usual. And all the replies were boomers just telling me to pull myself by the bootstraps. And I was like, I have to delete this.
Love that.
I do
Don't stand your
I-
ground.
It's just that, dude, they're the worst people on earth, and I want no interaction with them. None.
That's why you just tweet and just put the phone down.
But it's the worst
Just leave the
people.
post for them to see the bout.
Oh, they were the worst.
You just mute the responses.
I can't. I don't think I could even take being I'm not at 10,000, but I don't think I could even take being a micro influencer. It's so annoying.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.